All right, guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about Caddy on QNAP, how to get it installed and how, the quick and easy way to get it up and running. So let's actually go ahead and jump to the App Center, right? Yeah, I know you already see that I already have it installed, but I'm gonna take it from the top. So first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna want to open up your App Center. So, as a reminder, because I think I mentioned this in some other videos, right? You're kind of locked into like what apps they have available, by default. And if you want any more, you're going to need to do a app repository. You're going to need to add some app repositories. Here's the one that I have added here. So my QNAP.org repo. If you just add that in, you can get my QNAP here, which has like a bunch of obviously more stuff for you to be able to install, and then that's where you'll be able to, you can go search for Caddy and then install it, right? So you're going to install Caddy, and the first thing you're going to be greeted with when you open it is going to be a credential screen. What you're going to need to do is the default is admin, and then the password is password, as noted by like the Caddy website, which they mention here, right? So default is admin, password is password. And if you want to edit those credentials, you need to go here. I don't know why they accidentally capitalized as A here, because like Linux hates case sensitivity. So this is going to show up as not existing, so you will need to make sure that is a lowercase, which I show right. So right here you can see, right, if I do a capital A, right, it says it doesn't exist because it's actually supposed to be a lowercase, right? And then boom, right there it is. So, and just as a quick run through here, right, you want to edit that so you can change the username and password. You can just V into it, right, which will then show you the the default stuff as you see admin, password, right? And then what you want to do is you press I to go into insert mode, and then you're going to change this to whatever you want, right, for the username and the password that you choose to use for this. Hit the escape button, then do colon, and then you're going to do WQ to write the changes and then quit the V application, right? Obviously I don't want to do that on this because this was just supposed to be just an example. So I'm just going to force quit here. Cool. But yeah, right, so we have Caddy in here, and now let's go ahead and actually jump back to the credential screen and sign in. All right, and then you see here, just ignore like some of my comments, right, and my log stuff. I was trying to troubleshoot some things here, but you'll mostly have this, and then this 2015 stuff for this stuff. This is all default things that it's using for this particular like setup here, because you're using the QNAP UI stuff for it. But the most important thing that we're going to want, which is going to be down here, right? So you're going to come here to the very bottom, and then you're going to make you some entries. And this is the format that you're going to want to use, right? The format's going to be, right, your domain name or, subdomain, right? Subdomain name. So like in its entirety, the port you're listening to, I do the HTTP and HTTPS port. Obviously, because you need to port forward both of those on your router, and then you do the reverse proxy, and then to wherever you're hosting the actual like site stuff at. Okay, so in this particular sample, as you can see, localhost 81, because I have these websites hosted on my QNAP server. But if I was hosting it anywhere else, right, I would just simply put it here, right, because this is my my other server where I have like Uptime Kuma running, so that's why this is set up that way. But yeah, this is it. Like once you just do these two things here, right, you just your URL, the ports that you're going to be forwarding, and then where the actual destination is supposed to end. So here on my QNAP, you can see that right, I have the HTTP port as 81. QNAP actually handles the HTTPS stuff automatically, so it's going to what's the word I'm looking for, right? It's going to like automatically like make everything use HTTPS. Okay, so you don't have to worry about that part. But But once you do this, right, once you put it in, you just hit save changes, and then that's it, right? Now the thing is, which I have experienced before, is that sometimes, like, depending on your DDNS, like for example, like I have Cloudflare, it can take like literally a hard like 8 to 10 minutes before like stuff starts actually flowing through. So like, even though you made these changes, right, and then you went onto your you went onto your router and you port forwarded to your QNAP server, right, which has this Caddy, and then you port forwarded to, the HTTP, which would be port 80, right, and you port forwarded it to this 10, whatever port you want to use to represent the HTTP version of your websites and the HTTPS version of your websites, right? So in my case here, I did port 80 to 10400, right? And I did 443 to 10800, right? Right. So CC port 80 is going to my QNAP server, and then I'm making it go to that 400 port, 10400, right? And then HTTPS, which defaults 443, 10800, right? Easy stuff, right? Once you do that, you literally just have to wait. Okay, it takes actual time for big DDN, for the big DNS thing in the sky to actually reflect the changes. The most I've ever waited for was like a hard, I want to say it was actually like a hard 11 minutes. And that's just because like at 5 minutes in, I thought something was wrong, and then I would make changes, and then I'd have to wait again. And once I was like, okay, hold on, going through everything, nothing is supposed to be wrong. Let me actually give it some time. And then I waited, and then it actually then eventually worked. Right. So that's what you just got to do. Right. It's really that easy. That's just one of the things why I like Caddy is just so amazing, because that's it. Right. Literally just a simple line, right? You bracket, you put in the whole, the reverse proxy to wherever it is the stuff is actually being hosted at, and then that's it. It does everything. It handles like, getting certs from, was it Let's Encrypt or Certbot or whatever, all that. You don't have to worry about any of it. It's just going to do all of that for you automatically. The only other thing I'll just like talk about is like this header up host thing. Depending on like the particular application thing you might be using, you might need to add this. My understanding is, so like for example, like I use Uptide Kuma to show like any internal services I have that are like could be up and running. Not here though, because I don't have this particularly working at the moment. But it requires like this header host thing to be forwarded to it, so that it's able to like properly track, I guess, like what IP addresses are actually like visiting and whatnot. So you might need this, but for the most part you probably don't. So all you're just going to need is just a simple line of reverse proxy, and then wherever it is you're hosting your website at. That's it. All done. Save changes and you're good to go. And that's all I just wanted to show. Give you a quick a quick showing of how to just get the Caddy thing up and going on your QNAP server.